Sir Jim Ratcliffe has gone public on the purchase of United. He wants to be the new owner of Manchester United. The Glazers put United on sale before we went to the World Cup, and that story hit headlines in September. Up to now, the process has been really being managed by the Rain Group in America, and as we speak right now, they've called in for bids, and obviously Sir Jim Ratcliffe has gone ahead and really shown out his head that he wants to be the new owner of Manchester United through his company known as Ineos. Then Ten Hag hints about Weghorst's debut that is going to be today against Crystal Palace. And lastly, we talk about Gary Neville eating his words on Eric Ten Hag, and obviously hailing Casemiro and giving him his props for what he has been able to do for the club of Manchester United ever since he signed for £70 million from Real Madrid to Manchester United. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share, guys. Subscribe because we want to hit 20,000 subscribers. The 10k road came to an end, and you guys are the ones that really put it to an end. And obviously we commenced a new journey of 20,000 subscribers, and I think we are nearly reaching 10,300 subscribers. Not so? So guys, thank you very much. Now, let's get into this story of Sir Jim Ratcliffe, because we have lots of things to talk to as we really prepare to see ourselves really reach the next line. Now, breaking, Dixon of the Times told us that Ineos has entered the tender procedure to buy Manchester United. Sir Jim Ratcliffe has confirmed that he's officially in the running to buy the club from the Glazers. Now, this is something great that he's a supporter of Manchester United. He lives in Manchester. He has 2 football clubs, one in Switzerland, one in Nice, that he bought 4 years ago. He has some shares in Mercedes Formula One. He also has some shares in a cycling company. Obviously, that shows you that he's really a very good man at sporting. You get? But that does not make him the perfect person to come in through and really take over Manchester United. When you look at the owners of Man City and PSG, Liverpool, did they have any history of really managing football clubs? But they've gone ahead to put in more money, because Shinawatra was the owner of Man City and sold it to the Abu Dhabi group. And now they've gone ahead to invest lots and lots of money in Man City, the infrastructure, players, you get, and everything. Their brand is really growing at a very huge rate because they've gone ahead to get success that is unlimited for a very, very long time for a club of Man City. So as things stand, Sir Jim Ratcliffe comes in. He's not the only one, but more are still coming in to take over the club of Manchester United. And then Dixon told us that spokesperson of Ineos, remember Ineos is a company that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has majority shares in. He said, we have formally put ourselves into the process of bidding for Manchester United. So it's confirmed and official. Way back, Sir Jim Ratcliffe was really threatened or afraid that maybe the Glazers were not willing to sell. That's why he put out a statement that maybe they've pulled out in buying Manchester United. But after the Glazers going public on the sale of Manchester United, they've gone ahead to come out and really say or put their stamp onto this. And they're telling us that offers are expected from the United States, the Middle East, and Asia. So, offers are expected from the United States, Europe, Middle East, and Asia. Do you know why? United is one of the biggest football brands in the world. If told, it's the biggest, by the way. To me, I believe it's the most famous club. You know, let me give you an example. When Mbappe was linked to Real Madrid, it made news, but it was not all that alarming. But trust me, let one day, one time, there be a genuine interest for Manchester United in Mbappe Kylian. You'll know how how viral it will go on the news. It shows you how the brand of United has really gone ahead to go ahead and do the needful. So I believe we are into for a very good takeover from Manchester United, and bids expected from Asia, Middle East, United States, and Europe. And this plays in the hands of the Glazers. The Glazers want bidding wars. They want a bidding war to come up into this process. So when the bidding war comes in through, for them, they are going to earn, because through the bidding war, fighting for who is going to be the next owner of Manchester United, they might even get close to £7 billion. That's it. Though they are calling in for like 5 or 6, they might find themselves getting crazy money and crazy profits. Remember, they bought this club on debt at £700 million way back. That is 18 years back in 2005. But the only cash they injected in was £200 million. But the £500 million were on debt, meaning that they bought United on leverage, and they've been milking money out of this club. If at all they had not been milking money out of this club, United would have been in a very, very more comfortable position of buying in players they want, not into a situation we are, where we cannot even sign Cody Gakpo at £37 million. We couldn't even get in a player of €2 million and offer him a salary that he wants. That is Memphis Depay. So I believe that is what the Glazers have really gone ahead to do to the club. They've done more harm than good, and I believe it's time they really left the club of Manchester United, because they don't deserve to be here, and there is no reason for them to be having part or hand in our club. Now, Dixon has told us that at this stage, parties have to sign up to see confidential financial documents and commit to undertaking due diligence before possible takeover. Formal bids for Manchester United expected to start next month. As we are told that mid next month, that is February, bids are really going to be inserted in. But before you put in a bid, you have to sign a financial confidential document. You get, such that nothing is going to be let out. Secondly, they need to know your financial stand. Are you going to be the right person to take over? Do you have the money? Because they don't want to waste their time. That's it. So that's what is happening about the takeover of Manchester United. Sir Jim Ratcliffe in with a very huge bid of close to £5 or £6 million and £6 billion. And we've been told always that if at all it's around 5, 6, he's willing to put in that money and really take over a club known as Manchester United. So finally, the Glazers are leaving the club. But my worry is that they never programmed this early enough. I believe the takeover would have been done by December, such that the January transfer window is going to do us favor. Look at Liverpool, the FSG. They're even buying in new players, but they know that by the end of May or April, they would have handed over the club sorry about that. They would have handed the club over to the new owner. So let's wait and see what is going to happen. Now, we've been told by Dixon that the Glazers hope that Manchester United's surrogacy, Manchester United's surgency under Ten Hag will help to drive up the price of the club over the coming months. This is what the Glazers want. I mean, look at how we are performing. It's pretty great. And one thing they've forgotten is they've not given him the players. They've not backed him. You know, Ten Hag is acting because he's a good manager. He can improve players. That's the only benefit he's getting from the situation of the Glazers. But if at all he was a pragmatic manager, he wouldn't have gone ahead to achieve. That's why you saw to it that every manager that came in here failed to achieve because of being pragmatic. Louis van Gaal was a puppet sometimes because he allowed to get in players that he never wanted. If I tell him Louis van Gaal would have told them, please don't get them, don't get me Di Maria, don't get me Falcao, I'll go ahead and really get these players. I'll nurture these players and really get in the best that I deserve. Because a situation reached when he no longer needed those players, they were away, and he found himself using the likes of Marcus Rashford. He brought in Taylor Brackett, Jesse Lingard. There is the Alvaro guy who was playing as a right back. You get? I think if Atoli had gone in for that, it would have been better. Everyone would have understood the situation that he told the board, if you're getting me such a player, I don't need him, because he wanted Sadio Mane, Firmino, Fabinho. He wanted those players, and all went at Liverpool, and you saw how much they've done to the club of Liverpool. So the Glazers are really expecting more bids of high money because of the way Ten Hag is really running the club of Manchester United. Now, after that, Gary Neville himself, a man that was really backing Pochettino, calling Eric Ten Hag all sorts of undermining words, that he's an LDVC manager. He has never in life known how to manage a big team like Manchester United. Pochettino outclassed him and knocked him out from the Champions League semi-final. That was in 2018, I think. 2018-2019, when Liverpool saw themselves knock out Spurs in the finale to win that trophy. So, he talked lots of things. He was backing Pochettino for the job, but this time round, he has gone ahead and eaten his words. And I really like it when someone comes out and really eats his words, because that means he has been really treated to a new thought of disapproving his brain, because everyone is entitled to his own opinion, and we came out and criticized Gary Neville because Ten Hag to Manchester United was driven by the fans. The media wanted Pochettino, we the fans wanted Eric Ten Hag. Gary Neville on the Monday Night Football show was so audible and adamant on how Ten Hag couldn't manage Manchester United, that they needed a manager who really knew what the Premier League was all about. Forgetting that most of the managers that have come here and really won very many trophies have no Premier League history. You get? Sir Alex Ferguson had no Premier League history. He came and dominated. Wenger had no Premier League history. He came and dominated. Jose Mourinho had no Premier League history. He came and dominated. Sarri, Antonio Conte, who else? Pep Guardiola, Mancini, Pellegrini, Jurgen Klopp, all those managers had no Premier League history, but they came, conquered, and walked away with trophies. The only manager that has ever won a Premier League trophy that had Premier League history was Ranieri. He once managed Chelsea, then he won it with Leicester City in 2016. That's it. No other manager in the Premier League has ever won it with the Premier League history. That's it. So that is something that Gary Neville never knew about. I think he knew out, but I think his opinion really had really made him drunk. He had really, it overrode him, and he really went in for that. But I believe if at all he really sat down and really made some permutations, he would have gotten to know all this, because Ten Hag ticked all the boxes of who the next United manager should be. Sir Alex Ferguson was like him. He came from a team known as Aberdeen, breaking the dominancy of Celtic and Rangers. He won the Scottish Premier League. He went ahead to win by then the UEFA Europa League of the time. So when you look at Ten Hag and reflect in, won LDVC twice, reached the Champions League semi-final, because to me, reaching a Champions League semi-final and winning one game and lose out on goal difference, the second leg, it's like winning the UEFA Europa League. Not so? That's it. So Gary Neville finally gave in. He said, I'm mesmerized by the job Ten Hag has done. If you would have said to me 4 months ago, this is where United will be, I would have said no chance. He's his own man. He's done a very, very good job, an outstanding job. That is what Gary Neville has really said about it. And it's good to admit that you have been really defeated by your opinion, or your opinion has been thrown to the basket. Right now, the entire media in England has gone ahead to eat their own words. And to me, one person I believe is outside there, not going to open his gap again, is Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho has always come out and said, amid this having not won a Champions League, or a Premier League for Manchester United, that is the best job I've ever done. That it's the most hard game he has ever. It's the most hard job he has ever done, and his best achievement was to win a UEFA Europa League for Manchester United. Here we are this time round. We're having a manager in to win the UEFA Europa League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and the Premier League. That's all possible. That's all possible. And I've always told you that wait for a shocker that's going to come in through this season. Ten Hag might shock us with lots of triumphs that we are not even ready for, because all of us thought that it's a building season. It's a rebuilding, but I believe we are ahead of schedule because of the good manager and us having had already good players here, and him adding in 6 more obviously puts us in a better position of really competing for the league. Because if at all Ten Hag had players that were really cheap, though of good quality at Ajax, and managed to take Ajax to the semi-final of the Champions League, what is he going to do at a team when he's given a budget of £200 million per summer? That's it. That's what we need. If the new owners can come in through and add where the Glazers really stopped last summer for spending £205 million, we'll be getting in close to 3 classy and quality players per summer. That will put us in a better position to really help Ten Hag instill his philosophy at the club. And you see, we are beating City, we are beating Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, and very many others, Tottenham Hotspur, when the manager is just 6 months here. What if his style of play continues to grow into these players and the board backs him? I believe dominance is going to get back. However much Liverpool are going to be there, Man City, Arsenal, all what, if Ten Hag is backed, we are going to dominate the Premier League once again. Because I believe, however much other managers are better, but I think we have the best manager right now in world football, according to how he has really made a very huge turnaround. Even Pep Guardiola, in his first season in the Premier League, he never made such a delivery. That's it. He was beaten left, right, and center. That's why Ten Hag came out and we revealed to the media that the mistake Ten Hag made was to underestimate the physicality of the Premier League, that he could go in with players that are not physical. And for Ten Hag, he knows what the Premier League is all about. He's here to get the job done. Now, after that, he went ahead to really talk about Casemiro. I'm talking about Gary Neville. He said Casemiro has been absolutely outstanding. Authority, composure. Manchester United's midfield was the problem for many years, and actually that's their strongest part of the team, and instead they need additions at backup and up front. That's it. We need backups of Casemiro, because I believe in the summer, if we can get in Caicedo or Enzo Fernandez or Frank de Jong, that would be great. I don't want to hear Declan Rice in this story. Why should I talk about Declan Rice? To me, Declan Rice is really a player that I don't really rate. Why? He's limited. I don't see him as a natural. But look at Enzo Fernandez is a natural, Frankie de Jong is a natural, and Caicedo is a natural. And those 3 can play in all the 3 positions of the midfield. They can play as CDMs, they can play as box-to-box midfielders, they can play as central attacking midfielder, meaning that you are bringing in an all-round midfielder. So I believe what he's talking about is right, that is a man known as Gary Neville. So lastly, let's ditch a little bit into what Ten Hag said about Weghorst and his debut against Crystal Palace. In there for you, Ten Hag has said on whether Weghorst would be in contention to start versus Crystal Palace. He said, I have to overthink that. So fast settle down this game of City. We have to set the right conclusions. Then we will make the clear plan. Now, Ten Hag is ready for this man because he needs a backup for Anton Martial. But I believe Ten Hag knows the best for this player. He knows how to introduce these players. He knows who needs to start. He knows who doesn't need to start. But as we speak, United have spent the night in London in preparation for their game of football against Crystal Palace. So Ten Hag knows whether Weghorst is going to start or not, because by now the manager will come out and really tell the players who are really going to play that tomorrow it's you playing, because they're having a match prep and he has a plan. So let's wait and see whether Ten Hag is going to give Weghorst his debut today against Crystal Palace. And obviously your thoughts about that are welcome in the comment section below. Don't forget to tell me what you think about Sir Jim Ratcliffe bidding for Manchester United. Then Gary Neville eating his words on Eric Ten Hag and Casemiro. Thank you guys for watching in through. Good night. May the Almighty God bless you abundantly. I sign out.